What is up, Bomb Squad? Welcome to the Burndown YouTube channel. I had a busy week this past week. My son turned 10, so he is double digits, which means I'm getting old. I had some family come in, so we didn't get a lot of after-hours activities. And then yesterday was Friday, and I usually try to start the videos in the weekend and get a run at her. But I was tired, man, so I didn't do anything. But I did move this thing over. So we are going to change it up a little bit today. I still have all of the stuff on the Malibu to remount, the condenser and all that fun stuff. But the dilemma I had was I only have one spot in my driveway to work on things. And the Malibu will run and move around. I got everything kind of just zip tied in place. Now, I can't drive it, but I can move it. And if you take the transmission cooler out, or you mess with anything too much, then I can't drive it and it's stuck here. Well, I have a family camping trip coming up in a couple weeks. We neglected this thing last year pretty much because I was busy fixing the Malibu from our accident. So I didn't do anything besides fix the Malibu and try to get it put back together for Mega Week, which we missed. But my car runs and has AC and it has a stereo. I can't complain too much, right? But this dude just sat and sat. So I threw a battery charger on it, hit the button, boom, the thing fires off. It is awesome. And then I even put some gas in the generator and pulled that thing, and that thing lives. So we are looking pretty good on this besides the front brakes. So I think I have a little bias guy. Maybe we'll have to play with it more. But once I got this thing working, I didn't really mess with it. We just drove it. It's been to Vegas a few times. It's been camping up to Kern a few times. But they started to squeak, and I'm super concerned or cautious with these because, as you can see, this is an 8-on-5. This is a goofy wheel. It was really hard to find these tubeless radial rims in that lug pattern, as well as I would imagine the drum is kind of the same deal. So I don't want to take any chances. I'd rather just throw $50 brake shoes at the thing every handful of trips if we have to. But like I said, I think the bias is off. I don't know if those are working all that well. And then when we first got this thing running, if you guys remember, this was part of my cooling journey. This thing would get hot, and then it would heat up the power steering and then the brakes, it's Hydro Boost, and then that in turn would drag the brakes, and that would heat it up some more. So this is one of the things that I learned all there is to know about, well, let's not say that, all there is to know about cooling a motorhome, right? I don't know all there is to know about cooling, but I know what there is to know about trying to keep this SOB cool because we can do it now. So plan is to do brake shoes, which is easier said than done because this thing weighs 10,000 pounds. We got it lowered. As you can see, it tucks the tire. So we got to jack it all up, and it's a process. And we already had these off. So I actually had this all apart during the week because I was getting ambitious. But I had the wrong brake shoes. So hopefully today we have the right ones. But you have to take all that stuff off to find out if you have the right one. I know size-wise we have the right one. We'll just make sure they fit. But they are Napa Fleet brakes. And I'll keep the part number if this works. So let me get this thing all ready. We will struggle and pull the wheel off that weighs as much as I do. And then keep your fingers crossed that we have the right brake shoes this time. Thought I would share this with you guys. Fun fact, because Dodge is so awesome. At least they labeled it. But these are all left. They say left. And these even have an L on the stud. It's because it's a left-hand thread. So you have to put your earthquake in the forward position, right? Like that, to take the stupid wheel off. And I believe it's on front and rear because it's fantastic Dodge. But on the other side, it's right. So it's normal. But I always get confused. And then I give it some mugga-duggas in the wrong direction and wonder why the damn wheel doesn't come off. And then I think my earthquake is not powerful enough, but every time she gets the job done. So let's get this thing off here. Sorry to cheat it. I did this one beginning of the week. It was easy to get off because I knew where everything needed to be. Just to give you guys a size reference of the how we might as well. We'll just lean it on the old quarter panel. It's not like we're gonna damage her, right? Look at that thing. That's what it leaned over. That's a tire. All right, we got the hub off. Everything's there, and this looks still good. Like there's not really a raised edge or nothing, and this is what I'm trying to save, because again, I don't know where I would get this. Back in the day, you'd probably get this thing for nothing, but I don't know where you would get it. The grease doesn't look too bad. It's still packed pretty good. I packed it last time we did it, and the grease on here looks good, but we'll probably clean it up and give her some more. But this is where we're getting thin over there, and they're kind of squeaky, so not sure if it was, I think maybe these kind of work how disc brakes work. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe it gets down far enough and they put something else in there so they start yelling at you. But that's what I'm assuming. It had like that high pitch kind of when it was rolling. And then somebody mentioned to me I did these backwards, so I don't know how the hell I would do that. But anyway, let's check to see if these new guys will fit. And this one actually doesn't look bad. It looks like that one's getting more action. And if you're wondering, yes, I put this thing in here because the other piece, I think a spring broke or something. And I kept all that, but I don't have that spring. And we find ourselves here again. So we're just putting the same stuff in again. So let's see if these are it. I have a feeling I'm going to look like a coal miner after today. All the freaking brake dust from these things. Open it from the side. You're supposed to open it from Dane. That helps. Let's see. I was looking at these like, how did I get stuff backwards? But if you look at the distance in this pad from the front and this pad, right? And then I was like, is that different, or is it just like an angle deal? But if you look at it, they are different. So there's more metal here, but also it looks like this pad's thicker than what this pad is, right? So they are different, which is funny because I'm gonna have to look up what's front and what's rear. But to me, it would make sense then, because this was thicker. This was like this, and we smoked these guys. So why would I put the thinner one on that side? Unless it changes how it grabs, how it engages, because where the distance is. So I'm gonna have to look that one up. 50-50 shot I get it wrong. I mean, I guess if I put it back on. We'll look at the interwebs. I'm sure we'll get it wrong by the time you guys watch this video. But I am pulling it back apart, and it did stop before. So if it eats another set of $50 shoes in however many trips, like I said, if the brakes aren't dragging, I feel like we'd do better. But let's be honest, I don't really care. This thing is just, it's meant to go have some fun. If it eats brake shoes, I don't even know if the brakes will mess with the bias. Like I said, I got my little bias guy right there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So let me do some searching, and then we'll put these on, hopefully get the other side on, and move on. Right. Thank you, Google. I learned something today. So let me share with you. If you're doing brake shoes, which you never knew, you have a primary shoe and a secondary shoe. Your secondary shoe is the thinner shoe and is always toward the front of the vehicle, and the thicker shoe is your primary shoe, right? So we did have these on here, correct? Well, I don't know, actually. I don't know what's what because we put these on here, but I know looking at this is going to be my primary shoe, this is going to be my secondary shoe. So we're going to put it on the vehicle just like this. So maybe we got these backwards. Maybe that's what somebody was talking about. Maybe I had the thick boy up front and then this dude here, and then that's why the brakes wore out earlier, and then they're uneven. Like you can see the wear is uneven. So that's the idea as well, because this would hit first and then that one would hit. So when they wear down, they're going to wear even, if that makes sense to you guys. But good. Well, I learned something. Now I don't feel bad. Let's rip this apart. Primary, secondary, rolling, riding dirty. Got this side all buttoned up before I get ahead of myself. It's not adjusted, but it's all should be on and in place. We got this dude off. This is my little cheater bar to help lift the tire up on the lug nuts. When I get to the end of it and have to pick it up, it's easier just to do that. And then I pulled the center cap off. So I got plenty of grease in there, looks good. We'll get this torn apart, and then we will see if I got this one correct or not. You know, it'd be funny is if I got one right and one wrong. What do you guys want to bet? Leave in the comments. Let's see, 50-50. Did I get both of them wrong, or is this one correct? Check for spider bros. This thing's got a lot of freaking spiders in it. They're pretty burly looking too. I don't know if they're poisonous. They look like a black widow kind of, that shape, but they're not black widows. Although maybe they could be male black widows, I don't know. We got a lot of black widows out here. This guy. Come on. Bearing. This is where I hug this thing and hope it doesn't stop full of spiders because it's too heavy for me to reach in and lift. Alright. Hopefully I don't get spider gun. Man, see, look how thin that boy is. That's why we're grabbing that early. A little bit of a buildup on there, but not bad. It's still kind of rounded. So okay, we're still good. And then, like I said, I can pull it off. Sometimes these will build the lip up so thick that you can't even pull the drum off. We're extended out pretty far in this one, really thin. And then this dude's thick. I'm betting it was both backwards. I'm betting that we put the primary shoes on the front of both sides. That's probably what the guy was yelling at. He was like, "You're doing it wrong." But I don't know. I'm not a brake specialist from '72, right? This thing's older than me. Well, we'll swap it out. But yeah, looks like we were getting down. So hopefully that was a little squeaky, squealy noise, and we'll repack these guys. This one probably needs a little more grease love. So we'll kind of clean her up a little bit, pack her up. This was so-so. So again, I got a whole tub. So we'll get her all greased up nice and get it cleaned up. So let me swap these out. We'll do it properly. And then we can kind of figure it out and adjust it. Looks like we got some leakage or something going on under there. Oh man, look at this thing. I don't want to look at it too long because I don't want to start pulling stuff apart and changing things. But if it ain't broke, that's what I'm telling myself, right? Focus. Focus. All right, we've got secondary shoes up front, primary shoes in the rear, the way it should be, hopefully. Everybody's in, everybody's happy. Pack some bearings, put it back together, and then I think we caught this guy just in time. I think this is our culprit. I didn't know what side was squeaking, but one of them was kind of squeaking when I would drive. It'd be like, wee, 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 wee. And I'm thinking these do that. I don't know. I think if you get them down far enough, hell, maybe they'll just drag and they'll hit metal, but I don't know. Maybe it was in my brain. But glad we changed them, checked them. We were good to go. We were going to go up in the mountains, so I really wanted it to make sure we have the brakes available. So we'll throw this back together, pack some bearings, clean it all up, and then hopefully we'll take it for a test drive in a little while here. And she doesn't squeal anymore, and then we'll have to get these guys adjusted too. All right, we set her back down. I think it was looking a little bit low, and I actually had to buy a different dude to fill these up because they're 110 pounds cold, which I don't know about you guys. I'm not putting 110 pounds in my car tires, but let me get these guys all squared away, make sure they've got some air in them, and then we'll kind of work the brakes in the driveway. And then we don't have a lot of fuel, so maybe we'll cruise around the block a little bit, but we got to get some fuel in this beast. Alright, we got it fired up. We have all of our junk in here still. I brought the laptop. So what we would like to do is we're gonna put some fuel in, because I know she needs fuel. I'm gonna go around the block real quick, maybe come back, give it some ugga-duggas, make sure the wheels are good. And then what we will do is I want to cruise and see what temperature. I know driving around what temperature it is, but maybe we'll put fuel in and we'll cruise down the freeway, because I want to rework the fan strategy in this now that I'm way more familiar with PWM fans and settings. So I'll cruise around the block, ugga-dug it. We'll bring you guys back to the gas station, make sure she's doing good. We'll go around the block first, make sure we can stop, and then maybe we'll cruise around a little bit. So let's roll. All right, let's give her a little brake test. See if she pulls. All right. Nice. We didn't jam on them, but I pushed them. So yeah, we'll cruise around the block real quick. And like I said, we'll go ugga-dugga the thing. Again, man, we haven't driven this thing in a while. Too big. Not quite the size of a monster truck, but it's big. So, alright, I'm pretty confident. Like I said, let's ugga-dugga, then gas station. Everything seems pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some regular fuel in this bad boy because it's been sitting with E for a long time. So we'll lubricate some of the stuff in there with some regular dirty, greasy, regular fuel. Run it around, everything's good. We'll go on the trip, we'll do mostly on E if possible. So put some fuel in, we'll go cruise around. Alright, we've been cruising a bit, and then I don't know if you guys can see that, but the coolant temp, line temp, everybody's doing good. But what I'd like to do is we're cruising down here, we're going to jump on the freeway, and then I'm going to go a handful of exits down and see what the ambient temperature kind of lives at. So the goal is to have the fan shut off while I'm driving, and then you have to have your fan turn on over that temperature. If you have your fan under the minimum temperature, it'll never turn off. So today, it's just a warm day, nothing too crazy, so we'll go a few clicks, you know, above that, but let's make a run and see where she kind of wants to be, and then we'll go from there. Guess I should probably report too, no squeaking and squealing. Like I said, when I was driving, it was like wee 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 wee, so I was like, oh, something's off. So they definitely, when they get down, when the brake shoes get down, I think they squeal on purpose. So we are nice and quiet. So I'm stoked on that. Like I said, we're looking for an ambient temperature. And then once I kind of get that sorted, I brought the laptop, which is flailing around, and we'll adjust stuff. We'll make a run up, we'll pull off at an exit, and I can adjust things, and then that's it. We'll cruise home, maybe take side streets, make sure everything's kind of on par, doing what you should. And then other than that, it's just tune-up stuff, plugs. We'll look at the plugs, probably just wires, because they're lifetime, and then definitely an oil change, fluids, check all that stuff, and then this will be ready for camping, besides it's filthy dirty. Okay, we're about to jump on the freeway. We're at 192 and then 175 for line temp. And then the cool thing with the PWM fan is I have it looking at the transmission line temp and at the motor itself. So we just want to get a baseline on the motor, and then I know where I don't want the transmission to be. I want it to be under 200, especially just driving around. I'd like it to be, it usually likes to live around 190-ish unlocked, because it's, you know, driving and I have a bit of a stall in here. But let's see where it does. We'll get her in lockup and we'll ride right now. So nice and easy, nothing too wild. We're starting off at 190 coolant temp. That's where the fan's supposed to kick on, and then 175 on the line temp. So all right, we haven't even gone like one exit, and it's going down. It's at 187, and then 170 on the transmission cooler. Granted, it's a pretty mild day today. I want to say it's maybe 80 degrees or something out. So I'll have to double check temperature and then we'll decide, but we'll hit another exit, but I've only gone one exit. It's down to 187 and 168 on the trans. So we are good, and that means I can keep it probably in the 180s somewhere, depending on how hard I want to spin the fan. So yeah, 186 and 166. Let's go one more exit. And I think our testing is probably telling me that the cooling system's working flawless. Alright, we're just motoring along at like 60, 65. It's down to 183 and 159. So we're doing really good. I still gotta wait till the next exit. So we'll see what the absolute minimum is. But other than that, we'll just enjoy rolling the Twinnebago. Twinnebago riding, baby. Okay, we technically got off the freeway. 156 and 183 were our numbers. It's a 80-degree day today, so it's really nice and cool out. Hopefully there's nobody over there. And let's go to San Diego South. So I'm going to keep that number in my noodle. Plus this is going uphill a little bit, so we're going to go back downhill and see if the numbers are the same. When we get home, we can make the adjustment. So back on the freeway, except this time we're gonna open up the exhaust cutout, jam some tunes. I'll meet you guys back in the driveway. Yep, 189, 190. All right, the Bego did fantastic, and then I'll just have to decide where I want the temperatures to live. But right now I have it kicking on at like 190 and then kind of holding it there. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll keep the engine around 190. I think 183, 184 was kind of the temperatures we saw. But again, this is a 80-degree day, so it's nice weather. And I feel like when you go other places, especially where I drive from, you get to like Vegas and Arizona and all that, it's hot as balls out there. So I feel like keeping it around the 190 is fine. And then we'll just make sure the transmission temperature is in check as well. So yeah, super stoked on this thing. Sure runs good. Bego's back. Time to clean up. Move it back over where it lives until we got to clean it out. Like I said, I'm camping in like 2 weeks. Then we'll kind of screw off, do some other stuff for the rest of the day, I guess. I can't get into the Malibu because I'm going on a cross-country adventure, well, cross-state adventure, to pick up a El Camino. It's a 64. It's not for me. It's for a buddy of mine. He wanted me to go, keep him company, kind of look at the car. So I agreed to go. So that's going to chew up my time for that. So no Malibu, none of this. And then next week, I'd like to solidify and get the Malibu AC all sorted out. See if that thing blows cold air. I smell burning all the freaking cobwebs and stuff. I'm out of here. Till next time, you guys know what to do. I'm out.
Rolling through the streets, yeah, I'm the king of the block. Got that dragon dry style, make your whole city rock. Malibu gangster, with a touch of finesse. I'm burning rubber, raising hell, feel the heat, no stress. Turbo LS, under the hood, I'm moving quick. Nicky tires grip the road, make them stick like a trick. She sloppy too, we got a hit in 08. In the war performance parts all over the place. The bomb squad's